So I'm getting ready to plan our meals out for the week and then order groceries. So for this week's vlog, I thought I would share the process of how I decide what our meals are gonna be every week and how I order our groceries. And then along the way, I thought I would just share some more about how we choose to eat, tips on eating healthy within a budget, kind of share our grocery budget with all of you and how we stay within that each week. I know that eating healthy is honestly expensive. If someone tells you that it's not expensive, they're lying to you, because anything that is deemed healthy, they up the price. It's crazy. I know that it can be intimidating to try to eat healthy when you just see all of these price tags that are super high. You think like, how am I ever gonna afford to eat healthy? I hope that this video helps you. I truly do, because I really think that we have figured out how to eat healthy on a budget. So with there only being 2 of us, we try to keep our grocery budget to about $50 a week. Not to say that we always stay right at or below the $50. There are definitely times when we go a little bit over. Usually if we go over, we're probably hitting around the $60 a week range. I think we've done a pretty good job of figuring out how to eat healthy on a budget. I don't think our grocery budget is very high. I think it's pretty low. I don't know. I don't go around asking people what their grocery budget is, so I really don't have anything to compare it to. So after you watch this video, comment down below and let me know what your grocery budget is for a week. I feel like ours is good. I'm pretty proud of it, but then again, I don't really know. If you're new to my channel and you're not really familiar with how my husband Clay and I eat, we eat really strict and really well throughout the week, and then every Friday night we have a date night where we eat whatever we want. This is just the balance that we found that works best for us. This is just the most maintainable way for us to choose a healthy lifestyle. So on Friday nights for date night, we eat whatever we want, and then a lot of times on Sunday mornings, we'll go and get like coffee and donuts or coffee and breakfast somewhere. So that meal as well, we kind of eat whatever we want, but Friday nights is our go all out, eat what we want. And then again on Sunday mornings, we'll lighten up a little bit. Not as much as Friday night, but we still eat differently than we do throughout the weeks on both Friday nights and usually Sunday mornings. Sometimes it varies. If we get asked to do something on a Saturday or on a Sunday afternoon, we might swap out the Sunday morning for those times. So the most maintainable, healthy lifestyle for us has been to really focus and go hard throughout the week and then lighten up a little bit on the weekends. Now, we're not trying to eat junk and just go completely off course on the weekends, though sometimes honestly that does happen. But we're just trying to let up a little bit, not be so strict about it on the weekends. That's just what works best for us. That might not be what works best for you. Everybody has different eating plans, different exercising plans that work best for them. So I'm not saying that what we do is the best way. It's just definitely the best way for us. I'm just sharing in hopes that you might be able to just pick up a little piece and kind of work it into your lifestyle. To give you a little bit more information on how we choose to eat, we try to eat 4 meals a day. Sometimes we get that, sometimes we don't. Sometimes I eat 5 meals a day if I am prepared enough, and on my game I'll get to 5, but most of the time I'm aiming for 4 meals a day. Sometimes I only get 3 in, but the goal is always to eat at least 4 meals a day. So in those meals I want to get a protein source, a carb source, a vegetable source, and a fat source. So I want to get all 4 of those things within all of the meals except my last meal. So if I eat my 4th meal around like dinner time, then I'll eat all 4 of those sources. But if my 4th meal is like an after dinner meal or snack, then I will cut out the carb source. If my 4th meal is after dinner, or maybe I'm eating 5 meals that day and my 5th meal is after dinner, if my last meal of the day that I eat is after dinner, I will cut out the carb source and I will only have protein, vegetable, and fat in that meal. This just gives my body a little bit more time to burn through some of that stubborn fat while I'm sleeping. That's just how we choose to eat. That's not saying it's the best way. That's just what has definitely worked for us. That's what we do. That's what's worked for us. That's what we enjoy. That's what we're used to. That's what we can really stick with and maintain, because I feel like if you're gonna try to eat healthy and you're gonna try to live a healthy lifestyle, one, it's always gonna be more than just eating healthy. You're gonna need more than that to truly live a healthy lifestyle. But with that, you need your healthy lifestyle to be something that you can actually maintain. So if you're trying like the keto diet or the Atkins diet or anything like that, that's something that you cannot maintain long term, then it's not of any value to you, because you can lose weight really quickly, but then if you can't maintain that lifestyle, it's just gonna come back on. So our goal has always been to eat and work out in a way that we can maintain very long term. So the first thing I do when planning out our meals is I pull up my notes tab on my phone and I start to list out all of the meals that I want to have for this week. The first thing I'll do is start to kind of think of some meal ideas, maybe some things we've had in the past couple of weeks that I want to try to not repeat, or maybe some things that we've had that we want to have again because we really have been enjoying them. We do eat pretty strict, so one thing that we run into is trying to come up with different meals and not always eating the same things over and over and over. Clay and I both can eat the same thing for quite some time in a row and be fine with it, but I do try to kind of mix and match our meals every week. I'll just pull up my notes on my phone and start to jot all of those down until I feel like I have a pretty good list of breakfast, lunch, dinners, snack type of meals that can last us throughout the week. If I'm running low on meal ideas and I feel like we've just been eating a lot of the same things and my mind's kind of blocked on how to get different ideas, then I'll quickly hop on Pinterest if I have a certain type of thing in mind that I'm looking for, like a salad or recipes that use chicken or ground turkey. I'll type that in the search bar and then I'll go through some recipes and look at the ones that I think that we would enjoy, and then I'll add those to my list. One thing that we like to do is have really simple meals. So if I'm scrolling through on Pinterest or online or somewhere looking at recipes and the recipe has like 50 million ingredients, I'm either throwing it out or I'm throwing out like 80% of those ingredients, because we like to have very simple meals. I don't like to have to buy a whole bunch of extra ingredients that I'm only gonna use for this one meal, because I'm not trying to go to the store and buy like 10 new spices for just one recipe, you know? Okay, so I finished up our meals for the week. One thing I like to do when I'm adding our meals to notes is kind of split them up by category. So I'll kind of put all the breakfast meals together. The lunch and dinner meals I put all in one because those can alternate for us. We can have it for lunch one day and dinner the next. So these are the meals that I have picked out for this week, starting with breakfast, lunch and dinners, and then snack meals. So once I have listed out all of our meals, then I hop onto Walmart Grocery online and order all of my groceries. If you're new to my channel, you don't know my obsession and my love for Walmart Grocery Pickup. It's the best thing ever. You can order your groceries online and then they bring them out to your car. It's amazing. I'm just not a fan of grocery shopping. I don't enjoy it at all. So Walmart Grocery Pickup is amazing to me. I will leave a link in the description box down below where you can get $10 off of your first order, and then it will also allow $10 off of one of our future orders. I just pull up Walmart Grocery Pickup, and then I will go through each meal individually and search for the ingredients that I need to pick up for that meal and add them to my cart. Some of the items we won't need to repurchase yet, like we buy a 40-something ounce of rolled oats. So we just bought that last week, so we won't need to buy that for a couple more weeks. So there's certain ingredients, just like always, that you might already have on hand that you don't need to order. With our food, we're not all about name brands, we're just all about what's the cheapest option for us. We will just go with the Walmart Great Value brand anytime that we can if it's gonna be cheaper for us. So that's just how we do it. We're all about saving money and staying within budget. I love Walmart Grocery Pickup for a lot of reasons. The major one being that I don't actually have to go into the grocery store and pick everything out. I just order it online and they bring it out to my car. Two being that you don't get distracted by any of the new products or anything that you didn't go into the store for, but then they're catching your eye. Maybe you go to the grocery when you're hungry and you're like, I need those cookies, those donuts, that pie, and that cake right now to go with my broccoli and chicken that I had planned for the week. You know what I mean? So that's another awesome thing about Walmart Grocery Pickup is you never get distracted by the things that you didn't go into the grocery for. The other thing that I absolutely love is that it helps you stay within budget, because as you're adding things to your cart, you can see a running total of how much you're spending. I love that when I order groceries, I can see my running total so that I can know if I need to take something out. Maybe I need to substitute something for a cheaper option. Maybe it's something that can wait till the next time we go to the grocery when we might have a little bit more wiggle room within the budget. So I love that you can see a running total of what you're actually spending. So while we do order a lot of our groceries from Walmart, there are certain things that we only get at Kroger, we won't get at Walmart. So we eat a lot of ground turkey, chicken, eggs. So a lot of times, especially this summer, Kroger has had 18-count eggs for 99 cents, so that's cheaper than Walmart. So if it's a week where Kroger has eggs on sale, we'll get eggs at Kroger. Another thing we get at Kroger is Ezekiel bread. That's the only kind of bread that we ever buy, so if we want to get that, we get it at Kroger because Walmart does not carry that. Another thing that we get at Kroger is chicken breast. So if we want to order fresh chicken breast from like the meat section. Walmart doesn't have that. You can buy already pre-packaged chicken breast, but our Kroger offers some fresh chicken breast that have different seasoning, different flavors on them. So if we want to get something like that, we will get it from Kroger. So as I'm adding some items to my cart right now, I just want to talk through some tips on how we are able to stay within that budget. Some tips on how we figured out how to eat cheaper when we're trying to eat healthy. We eat until our fridge is like completely bare. We hardly ever buy things that we don't need, that are off the list, that don't go with the meals that we've planned out. We really stick to just the ingredients for the meals, and that allows us to really eat up most of our food before we go back to the grocery. So we never have a lot of leftovers. We never have a lot of extra random stuff sitting around. We really try to stick to just ordering the things that we need for the meals that we've planned. That helps us stay in budget. That helps us eat on track. That just makes it a lot easier if you don't have extra food around. Saves you money, and it keeps you from eating things that you're trying not to eat. We aren't the people that get the ads, see where everything's the cheapest, and travel around to 50 different stores. I'm not about that. So Walmart, grocery pickup, and at Kroger for just a couple of items are all that we do. But like I said, if we're already going to Kroger for something and they have something a lot cheaper than Walmart, maybe it's on sale, maybe their normal price is just cheaper, then we will get that item at Kroger. That's one thing we do. So like eggs. We'll have 18-count eggs on sale for 99 cents, which is really good. So if those are on sale at Kroger and we're already going to Kroger, then I won't order any eggs at Walmart, and we will pick those up when we pick up the stuff that we get at Kroger. In my opinion, meat is the most expensive part of eating healthy, unless you're buying a lot of protein powder, supplements, things like that, because those are very costly as well. Meat is just the most expensive part of what we buy personally. One thing we do to save on meat is we try to buy in bulk or larger portions when possible. So one really great thing about Walmart is their ground turkey. You can buy it just by like the pound, or they also offer butterball turkey in a 3-pound container. And they were just carrying the 3-pound container in the 85% lean ground turkey, but recently they started carrying a 3-pound container of the 93% lean ground turkey. Another thing that can help you save money is where you live, buying things in season, all of that. I don't really pay attention to that because we just kind of eat the same things over and over and rotate them. So we use tips like buying in bulk or buying stuff that's on sale at somewhere we're already gonna go to kind of save a little bit of money within our budget. Because if you're traveling all around and that works for you, that's great. But for us, if we weren't already going to Kroger, it would make more sense and save us more money to just buy the stuff at Walmart instead of traveling to Kroger just to save a few cents on eggs. You know what I mean? Another thing that we do is a lot of our vegetables we will either buy canned. I know right now that everybody's like, you eat canned vegetables? But yes, we do. Not very often, but what we do is we will drain the can completely and rinse whatever's in the can completely off, whether it's beans or vegetables, whatever it is, we'll rinse it completely off because canned items are a lot cheaper. So if that's all that you can afford, then don't feel bad buying canned items for your family. If you're trying to eat vegetables and all you can truly afford is the canned vegetables, then wash them off, because a canned vegetable is better than no vegetable at all, in my opinion. But for vegetables, one thing we like to do is sometimes we will buy canned, not very often, but what we do a lot of times is we will buy the frozen vegetables, because those are usually much cheaper than buying fresh vegetables. So we will buy the steamable vegetables or the regular frozen vegetables, and we always try to buy the Walmart brand because that's usually the cheapest. Another thing that I have found out with frozen vegetables is even when they're not steamable, even when they say that you have to cook them over the stove and not in the microwave, you can totally cook them in the microwave. And usually buying something that claims to be steamable or microwavable is a little bit more expensive than just buying the regular frozen vegetables. So what I've been doing recently is I'll buy the regular Great Value frozen broccoli. I'll cut the top off, I'll put a little bit of coconut oil in the bag, and then I'll put it in the microwave for 5 or 6 minutes, which is about how long you have to do a lot of the steamable vegetables. So I'll pull it out, see if the vegetable is tender and cooked through. If it's not, I'll throw it back in there for a little bit longer, but you can cook them in the microwave. Sometimes it's easier that way. Sometimes you have enough time to throw them on the stove, sometimes you don't, but either way, you're gonna save money by buying the regular frozen vegetables as opposed to the ones that claim to be steamable or microwavable. Okay, so now I have gone through and added everything that we needed for meals to my grocery cart, and I wanted to share some additional tips with you guys that came up along the way of how I stay within budget. I like to eat strawberries as a part of one of my meals, so a lot of times, especially out of season, I'll just buy frozen strawberries and eat those because all it is frozen strawberries. Like, you can check the bag, they don't add anything to it, at least not the Great Value Walmart brand that I buy. It's just strawberries that are frozen, and a lot of times they're a lot cheaper than buying fresh strawberries. But last week I did see on like the Walmart homepage, I think, that fresh strawberries were cheaper than the frozen strawberries that I buy. So this week I did check that again, and this week fresh strawberries were cheaper than buying a pound of the frozen strawberries. So that's another way to save money, is just checking if fresh or frozen is the better deal that week. Another thing that I do is usually, instead of buying bagged salad mix, if we're gonna have salads, I will buy a head of lettuce, romaine hearts, spinach, whatever I want in the salad, but I will buy those items separately as opposed to buying a bag of salad mix, because those tend to be higher in price and less in quantity than buying each of the salad items individually. As I'm adding things to my cart, I'm constantly keeping an eye on the running total, seeing how we're gonna do, and when I get to the end of my grocery list, if I'm over or if I'm close to being over or if I'm almost on budget but I know that we have some things that we're gonna get at Kroger that week, then I will go back through my list, see if there are any items that I can buy in smaller quantities instead of larger quantities. For example, a lot of times when we can fit it within our budget, we will buy the 40-ounce container of natural peanut butter instead of buying a smaller one, because it will last us longer and it ends up being the better value overall than buying two small ones. But that is an item that if I needed to, I could reduce that and get the smaller one for the week, because a smaller container will last us for a week. The larger one will just last us longer, so that the next week and maybe even the following week we won't have to buy any peanut butter at all. For weeks that we're over budget or close to being over budget, that's something that we can tweak when we need to. But when our budget allows it, we will buy the larger one, because then it saves you for a couple weeks from here on out. The last thing that I'll do if we're close to budget or over budget, once I add all of the items to our cart, is I'll go back through and just pick out those items that aren't absolutely necessary to the meal, and I'll throw those out. For example, this week we're gonna make like turkey pepper bowls with ground turkey, different peppers, onions, black beans, and the recipe that I saw called for green onions, but we're already buying a yellow onion for some other recipes. So since I know that we still need to buy a little bit of chicken from Kroger, I'm gonna go back through and take the green onions out of my cart, because those aren't absolutely necessary to the meal, especially when we're gonna have another type of onion on hand that we can use. This week in particular, we're eating a lot of ground turkey meals as opposed to a lot of chicken meals. Sometimes it fluctuates, sometimes we'll have more chicken meals. A lot of times we'll have a lot more ground turkey meals, just because it is cheaper to buy that ground turkey in the 3-pound container that I talked about. But this week it just happens that we do have the majority of our meals with ground turkey or eggs, but I do know that we need to pick up chicken breast from Kroger, so that costs about $4 if they're on sale. So while I was going through and picking out groceries, I left at least $4 in our budget so that we could pick up that chicken. I'll show you guys one more time the meals that I planned out for this week, and then I will show you the grocery cart of all the items that we bought with the final total of what our groceries will cost for this week. These are the breakfasts that we picked out. These are lunches and dinners, and then these are just snack meals. And then here is our grocery cart for the week with all of the items that we needed to purchase. And then down here at the bottom, you can see that after tax, our total is $44.30. So $44.30 for all of those meals besides chicken breast. So our total for this week should be around $48 or $49. So we're coming in right at budget this week. But I just wanted to show you guys that you really can do it. You really can eat healthy on a budget. You just have to pick up some tips and tricks along the way to save yourself some money. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing more about how we eat, how we stay in budget, how we grocery shop for 1 week for $50. I hope that this video empowered you to stick to your budget. Budget is not just something done out of necessity, it's something done out of stewardship. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love it if you would share it with a friend, and I'll see you next time. Bye. It's your whole mindset behind it. If you see it as like a cheat, like you can't ever have unhealthy stuff, then that's a mindset. Like that's crippling. That's